Oh baby, what is up? Welcome to tonight's entertainment. Tonight, I actually kind of have a schedule of some stuff, but before we get to that, how we all doing? We have tonight's stream brought to you, not sponsored by, but the Blue Bomber himself on a can of G Fuel, aka jet fuel, sliding down my gullet. There are some new games coming out that really deserve some attention. Number one, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. It will release on September 9th on various platforms. I think all next-gen platforms are getting it, PC. Good thing to point out is I don't see like a PS4 or whatever the PS4 version of Xbox is. So that's good. We are kind of getting this to be stuck in it's actually a next gen game, finally. With this being said, it looks really amazing and I'm excited for it. The whole time Helldivers 2 was just blowing up, a lot of people related Helldivers 2 to, you know, like a 40k Warhammer 40k experience. And looking at the little bit that I have with this, is we're gonna dive into this here very soon. The things that it seems like they're doing with this game, they may be equal to, or you know, maybe blowing that experience out of the water. So obviously it's, you know, 40k, so if you're in the 40k lore and you have interest in that, obviously this is gonna mean a lot to you. Me, I really don't have much experience with the 40k lore or games. I tried a little bit. The hope is, you know, this game might get more people playing, or it might, you know, it's already a huge established franchise. Hopefully it's really good. We're gonna check this out now. What are you excited for in this game? Leave your comments down below, and I hope it's good. I'm definitely gonna be playing it.
Warhammer 40k has spread so far and wide from its humble tabletop origins that I would almost consider the fantasy of being one of the Adeptus Astartes, a Space Marine, as being on par with being Batman or a Jedi Knight at this point.
Interesting comparison.
Space Marine 2 brings me closer to that fantasy than maybe any previous game has. At its best, it's practically 40k Nirvana, mowing down disorienting numbers of Tyranids with a heavy bolter or cutting a path through them with a chainsword. At times, the controls can get a little clunky, especially on a controller, but I suppose some of that comes with being an 8-foot-tall juggernaut coated in ceramite.
True. Lore accurate Marines movement.
I had access to the first little bit of the campaign, which has Clive Standen, aka Rollo from Vikings.
It looks amazing.
Giving an inspired,
it just looks amazing
performance as Captain Titus.
It gives me nerd tingles. Yes.
Eradicate your kind from the galaxy.
Who is immediately embroiled in some interesting drama with his new squad mates due to his checkered service record. They ultimately set that aside, though, to do battle with the Tyranid hive fleet threatening the soaring Gothic spires of the Imperial world of Avarax.
The Astropath relay is 4 miles from here. Expect heavy Tyranid presence.
What's immediately striking is how detailed and well animated everything on the ground
Oh,
is.
yeah.
From the humble Cadians, who will often kneel and talk in a whisper as the Emperor's angels approach, to the smallest gilded details on the architecture. I don't think I've ever had the feeling of standing on the ground in the Warhammer 40k universe to this level of satisfaction before.
Don't forget they have 2 hearts, spit acid, and can eat brains to get some of the memories. Dude, that's sick. And you know what? This game looks so detailed. I'm sure they will let you know all about that in the actual game, for those of us that don't know.
Dishonorable death.
The graphics are gorgeous, the chaotic
Looks really good, looks very detailed.
And no expense has been spared, filling every square inch with the kinds of small touches that delighted me as a longtime fan of this franchise.
Oh my god. Hovering in the jetpack and blasting.
As far as nailing the experience of playing as one of the Emperor's finest, Space Marine 2 generally does a respectable job there as well. Titus and his buddy's Primaris armor is rendered in gleaming fidelity with lots of moving parts,
Oh yeah.
managing to feel imposing and maneuverable at the same time.
Got some little loincloth action. You got some packs that are wiggling around and everything else that's kind of on the belt. Good details, good details.
The Tyranids seek to consume that as well.
Anytime I got to remove an obstacle through pure super strength was a highlight.
Boom.
And most of the
Busted.
guns feel great to use, from the classic bolter to a plasma gun that makes enemy armor seem like a joke. I wasn't totally sold on the melee stuff, unfortunately. Carving through gaunts with a chainsword is just as exhilarating as it should be.
It's hack and slash. You see
Space
gore
Marine
flying
2 has also
around.
tried to
Nothing
implement
special.
a
But it's there.
Sekiro-esque system of telegraphed dodges and parries to counter enemy special attacks, and I'm not quite sure if it works here. Maybe 6 hours just wasn't long enough to get the feel for it yet, but I got the sense.
I respect what they're trying to do. I respect what they're trying to do, you know, with like the parry system and dodge system. You're a big bulky space marine. You hack and slash, you tank damage. I don't know. But I respect what they're trying to do with it.
That it really slowed close combat down with canned animations, breaking up the flow a bit too much. Likewise with the Doom 2016 style finishers, though they are gloriously brutal in their
Glorious. Love it. Oh, stab him with his own body parts.
How awe-inspiring it is to see a Space Marine rip a Tyranid warrior's head clean off and discard it like trash.
God, that looks so
Maybe they're just
good.
a bit
Oh my
too
God, the knee in the
long, or they
face.
mess with the camera too much, but they feel like breaks in the action rather than part of it.
I could see that. There's also when you have those, the Batman style fighting. Yeah, like the Arkham series kind of a style. That seems kind of a little out of place with this. But like, again, I respect what they were trying to go for. They tried to make it a little more interactive. We'll see how it plays out. What he's talking about is he's getting into is kind of like slowing down the action, and it's getting into one of those feelings where like you were doing this cool like grapple / finish, you spin around for 10 minutes and stab them. But then you have like 20 enemies just standing there watching and doing nothing. And like, that seems kind of weird. You know, sometimes you have like 10 minutes of iframes because you're in this grapple animation, and sometimes it's kind of weird, but at least it's cool and gory, right? That's what we're here for. It's a generic one-man army style. Yeah, for sure.
Though it seems like the forces of chaos are definitely up to something behind the scenes.
What is that? Heresy.
And the variety of chitinous baddies is pretty impressive, from hordes of regular gaunts who mainly serve to show off your godlike power, to slippery lictors who require a bit more finesse to take down.
Yo, I like me a nice slippery lictor. You know what I'm talking about.
These guys, likewise, have never looked better in a video game. With some of the more complex model updates from the
little
recent
pistol.
tabletop refresh of the faction.
We've seen a
shown
pistol,
off
we've
in
seen like a
all their
machine gun,
creepy
we've seen like a
splendor.
minigun, heavy gunner type stuff.
The mode
chain
I spent
sword.
the most time with, though, is
There we
the
go.
new
Little-
3-player co-op, which seems to be where the meat of Space Marines
I think that's where it's gonna shine.
lies.
3-player
There are
co-op.
tons of perks and weapon upgrades
Co-op is gonna be
to
sick.
unlock, and much to my delight, as someone
Auto
who
rifle,
rolls their eyes at
bolt
playing
rifle.
boring Ultramarines, character customization includes the ability to unlock armor colors and liveries from dozens of chapters, including
Customization.
both
Let's
my beloved
go.
Space Wolves and some fairly obscure ones.
Ooh, I like that
On
color
top
scheme,
of
white
this,
and
you
pink.
have different classes to choose from, each of which has at least 3
Ooh.
primary weapons.
Long
to level up,
loincloth.
allowing for a huge amount of build diversity.
Oh, classes. Tactical assault, vanguard, bulwark, sniper, heavy. Classes, bro. And a lot as well. Really cool. Battle Brothers. The big BB. Oh, shit.
I probably had the most fun with the standard tactical marine. I know. Right after I said
Boring.
Ultramarines are boring. The Assault Marine can be exciting too, but as I never fully got comfortable with the melee combat, and I also found the jump pack to be really kind of fiddly and inconsistent, it ended up being the build I wish I was good at, but never quite got.
Yeah, it looked like there was some weird like
The Heavy
impact
Marine
collision
is also
when he was
great
dashing
fun
through
when you
those
can
guys.
fire hose away with a heavy bolter and watch an entire swarm evaporate. But they don't have much to do when they're out of ammo,
stabbed him.
which isn't as big a problem for the other classes.
Yo, that dude with the hammer on the side, did you see that? Oh my
A
god.
bit of rebalancing in terms of ammo drops, at least if you have a heavy on the squad. It can be a long time between resupplies.
Yeah, you know,
Since I was playing on a
that's just
pre-release build,
easy
I
patch
was
fix,
often
you know.
paired with bots, and they're not really very good, even on the.
Just take a second. You can't see it because the frame is kind of blurry, but just take a second to appreciate the amount of enemies on screen at once. All interactable, all in combat with you, and it's just you versus them. Looks amazing.
Lowest difficulty. The aforementioned Heavy Marine.
It's like a TPS Diablo. Yeah, maybe.
Viable because you can't count on your AI teammates to keep strong melee enemies off of you. But when I did match with other humans, I was having a great time. So I imagine this issue will be resolved when the servers are.
Just got some
open to
RPG
everyone.
elements to it, so yeah.
The more linear
Could be.
levels and somewhat clunky.
That was the goal the developers going for? Nice. Okay, cool. That's good to know, because, yeah,
Of hours of
seems like it.
Helldivers 2 already this year. But there's no mistaking that I could definitely see myself spending an
Helldivers 2
excessive
mentioned.
amount of time
It will be very easy for the player base that fell off from Helldivers 2 because even though they liked it, like me, they had sunk 200 plus hours into it, like me, and have simply just, you know, they've played it. And they no longer play it, not because it's turned into a bad game, but it will be such an easy gateway to transition into this game, which obviously is why I will slide into this game's DMs like super easy, and maybe another million players will as well.
Unlocking all the cool visual and mechanical kit for my favorite chapters and classes.
And they shall know no fear.
Space
That
Marine
thing
2
looks really
has
cool.
a real shot at being the quintessential third-person action game set in the 40k universe.
I think so far
It's
it will be, yeah.
exactly what it says on the cargo canister. You get to be an enormous, super strong, nearly invincible battering ram of post-human destruction.
What is that?
Slinging retribution.
That was
at
like some
uncountable
freaking
hordes
God
of
mode
Xenos
buff.
across beautiful, detailed battle spaces that bring this universe to life in a way it never really has been before. Ideally with a couple friends. You'll be able to check it out for
with some
yourself
friends.
on September 9th. For more Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, check out the official gameplay overview trailer as well as the behind the scenes trailer. And for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
So, I have been watching almost like every trailer, been reading like every announcement, like whatever that this game has thrown out. Like, I don't know how it came across like my eyeballs, but as soon as I saw it the very first time, I was immediately entranced with it. So this is me trying to spread the word, and I hope it does well. And well, first of all, I hope it's you know, a really fun and good game, like it looks to be. I'm really excited for the co-op aspect. You get up to 3 people, and they are also doing like a missions type where it's like almost like a special operations type with you know, is co-op as well. And then they also have the PvP modes. They have that as well. So 3 different modes, all with progression and customization and all that. So should be huge. And I think it's only dropping at like $60 too. So big W. Let me know down below in the comments. Are you gonna check this game out? What do you think? What are you looking forward to? Yeah. Warhammer fan.